Welcome back. Today in this video, let us understand filter activity in Azure Data Factory. So as you know, filter activity is again one more activity in Azure Data Factory which we can utilize in couple of scenarios. So in this video, let us understand what exactly the filter activity is and when exactly we can make use of it. Before proceeding, if you are new to this channel and haven't yet subscribed for this channel, we would recommend you to please subscribe and also press bell button for instant notification. Let's get started. So filter activity, it simply means filter elements from an array. That means you might be already knowing that or understood that the input for a filter activity should be an array, valid array. That means, as you can see, like in the previous videos, we have seen like for each activity also, even in for each activity, the input that it takes is an array. Similarly, filter activity also takes input as an array. So then it will filter the elements of the array based on certain conditions that we provide, right? So say for example, let us take few examples, real-time example, what filter activity can do in real time, right? So filter activity, suppose take example where you want to copy all the files from the source, and but the thing is, like, there might be different file formats. There is a CSV file, there's a TXT file, there might be any other file formats, right? There might be Parquet or Avro, but the intention here is to get only the CSV files from the source location, right? In that case, what you can do is you can have a get metadata which will give the child items, and then followed by a filter activity where exactly you kind of filter all the array, the array which is given by get metadata to get only the CSV files. In that case, you'll be able to filter and get only the valid CSV files and then perform a copy activity. Similarly, you want to filter only the file names which starts with ABC, right? In that case also, you can write a kind of a contains or some condition that you can give in the filter condition, so where you can filter that and get only the files which starts with ABC or any pattern. So this is just an example, right? So you can basically have any pattern like ends with or having some date which is a current date, something like that. And also you can filter and remove all the folders and get only the files in a particular folder. Suppose there is a folder that you identified as a source location, and in that folder there might be files and folders. So the intention here is to get only the files and ignore all the folders, right? So in that case also, you can just use a filter activity where you can use a get child items, and the child items type will be having file and folder as a two different properties, and you can consider only the type as files, so that it will get only the files, right? And also you can filter out and get only the files which are created last month. So this is interesting, right? Like if you want to say get all the files which are created last month, but not the previous to that, or not the current month. So in that case, you will write a kind of a pattern where, like, you will take a UTC now, which will be the current date, and based on that you will calculate the month, okay? And month minus one, if you do, right, it will go to the previous month. So if you do that kind of operations, you will be able to exactly filter, and then that condition you can use in the filter activity. So you'll be able to get all the file names that are created in the last month. So don't worry much about this implementing right away, jump and implementing right away. So it's important to understand what exactly the filter activity is. If you clearly understand this, you can build any such complex operation in later stages. So we will have a quick demo of a filter activity with some simple real-time use cases, so that you can understand in real time with hands-on. So now let us take a new pipeline for this demo of the filter activity, and you can just type in filter here. So you will get in the iteration and conditionals, you'll get the filter. So let's take a very basic, very basic example here so that you will understand what exactly the filter operation or the filter activity does here, right? Yeah, as I've mentioned, it will definitely take a array. So let us create a param1, which is a type of array, and the value, as you know, like the value should be a comma separated. If it is an integer, you need not have you need not enclose them with a double quote, but if it is a string, you need to enclose that with a double quotes. So I've just given like a number from say 1 to 10, right? And then, so my intention here is to kind of let me take a variable so that I can display this value after the filtration, right? So now I'll take a var1 as a yeah, I think without a variable also we can filter. Let us take example like so now the value that we are passing here, the items, right? Items, as you know, it should be array, valid array. So the input of a filter activity should be a valid array. So this is a valid array, right? That the parameter that we have passed is a valid array. It's an integer array, right? So now what we will write the condition here is say we want to get all the elements which are like greater than say 5, right? So in that case we will go to the logical functions here, so which says like a greater than, right? So greater than, what exactly greater than, right? So item. So similarly, like inside for each loop, what you are consuming the item, right? The same way you are consuming the item here. That means it is a current current element, right? And then greater than what? Greater than 5. So that means I should get the element 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, as output. Let us see that. Yeah, so as you can see, the value total item count is 10, filtered item count is 5. That means out of 10 it is filtered only 5 elements, and I am able to get all the records which satisfy the condition, that is greater condition, right? So similarly, you can give any condition. So this is a very simple condition that we have given, but you can make it more complex, right? So based on the requirement. And let us take one more little bit complicated scenario to make you understand how exactly in real time we can make use of it. Suppose I have get metadata, which, as you know, it will actually get the the metadata. So here I'm using the argument child items. That means I want to know what are the child items, maybe files and folders within that. So the output of get metadata will be all the files or folders within that particular location that I've given, right? You can see that. So there is and the file type also, like type also, it says file or folder, whatever it is. So definitely we have some files and folders within the container that we have created the dataset. So if you don't know about the dataset and the link services, please, I would recommend you to please go to the videos in the same playlist and check and get the more details how to create a dataset link service on a particular blob storage or any kind of storage services, right? So now coming to the point, what exactly we are trying to filter here. So like we will just go and see what is the filter condition. So we are not I'm just using a dummy filter condition. That means 1 equal to 1. 1 equal to 1 is always true, right? So after filter condition, if you see the output, yeah, just to make it simple, let us use get metadata and filter. So as you can see, filter has listed all the, like there are like 5 items, like three kind of basically, yeah, 3 files and 2 folders. It has listed everything, but instead of that I want to list only the say CSV files, right? So only the CSV file. How can I do that? So basically CSV is nothing but it is having a .csv as a within the file name, right? I can use this as a pattern. And then what exactly I can do, right? Let us see that. So instead of equals, let me use contains, right? So at the rate like item, and then we can make use of .csv, right? So in the double quotes, let us give .csv and then close this bracket. So let us give in the single quotes .csv. That means what we are trying, the file name or a folder name should contain .csv. Only in that case we will consider them, right? So let us, in that case, let us try to debug now, and let us see what exactly the filter output looks like, and out of 5 how much exactly the records it will give. So now let us see the output, right? So it is not able to give any result here. So let us find out the reason for that, right? So now let us change. I have changed this to like item dot name now. So what exactly I'm trying to do here? Instead of item, I'm giving item dot name. The reason here is so let us kind of see the output here, right? So here, if you see, there is a name and there is a type. So when I do a item dot name, it will consider this value. When I do item dot type, it will consider this. If I want to filter only the files, I can use item dot type, and then in the filter condition, I can give contains as file and folder to kind of differentiate that. So now, since I've given item dot name and CSV, so it should filter only the. It should get me only the files which are having extension CSV or .csv, right? So let us try to run this now. And now that it is completed, let us see the output. Clearly it shows total items are 5, but it has filtered only 3. And if you see, all these values are having .csv as the extension, right? So clearly we are able to filter only the CSV files here. Suppose if I want to filter only the like a Parquet files or txt file, you can clearly give that here. And after that, post this, we can give a like a for each activity or something, right? So where exactly you want to perform the copy activity. So the output of filter activity will be the array, and that you can give to the for each activity. And inside for each activity, you can place the copy activity, which will actually copy all the CSV files for your requirement. Right? So hope you are able to understand how much the complex scenarios we can use filter activity and we can make use of. And so it is quite handy when we want to kind of, when we are working with say like a lot of data, lot of files, lot of tables, right? So it will be very handy. And say for example, we're also explaining few examples here. If you can think through this example and try this example, I would recommend you to try these examples and comment me if you need any help. Definitely we can discuss on this. And maybe yeah, we will bring up the next videos. We will kind of explain these scenarios in detail. We will try to explain this, but as of now, I think the basics of filter activity is clear, and also how we can use and when we can use is clear. Hope it was useful. Thanks for watching.